Hey everyone, this is Erin,
And my name is Velly. Welcome to Life is Not a Game.
a series where we keep it real about life, gaming, and everything else in between because we are trying to bring you closer to your favorite influencers, creatives, pros, in and out of this industry. Talk about real life shit.
And we actually have two amazing guests here with us today. One is going to be Mae, who I just went throwing axes with down in LA. That was a blast. It's good to see you again. And also, I've seen both of you recently. Shout out to Ava. She's here. Ava, we just got done doing a Twitch Rivals Ultimate Challenge. That event was incredible, but I do have to ask this to kick things off with. Have you ever done an event like that before? Because
No.
that was one of a kind for me. I loved it.
Yeah, it was super fun. It was nice to do like a tournament outside of gaming, I guess. That
Yeah.
I felt like was equal level for everyone.
It
Equal
was
footing. Yeah.
It was cool because I now that I've been to LA a lot more, hanging out with Mae and whatnot, I'm starting to meet a lot of like content creators, streamers and whatnot. So that was the first time I've met like anybody. So it was pretty incredible. But Mae, how's your day been, girl? I love your room. I said it before the broadcast started, but I love your room. It's amazing. It's so eye catching. How's your day?
Thank you. Good. I don't know if you guys can see our guest star over here in the corner, but Thundercat is watching and making sure everything goes well. My day's been good. I actually had to clean a little bit of the room. I know you guys can see the green screen collapse down there, but usually I just put a green screen up and just have my room like on a recording looping in the background of my streams, so it always
do
looks
that?
the same. I do, yeah. It's not my actual room. It's so one, because it gets really, really hot in here with all the lights, right?
Right.
And then two, just when it's messy, I don't have to worry about it. Just put it up and it's fine.
I need
crazy.
to do that. I actually have a green screen. I just need to put one up.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, anytime that we see you guys, it's via streams. And Velly and I were talking, it's like we feel like we know a bit about you guys, but I feel like there's so much more that we aren't even aware of. And we want to actually start with your guys' days before streaming.
Yes.
So either one of you can answer, but like Ava, Mae, who are you guys or who were you guys before you even started streaming?
Ava, you go first.
I was a college student. I was in college just doing streaming as a hobby, partying, getting drunk, barely making it to class half the time. And then I started streaming, I think like my sophomore year, maybe, third year. Oh man, that was so long ago. It's like I barely remember it. It seems like another like lifetime ago.
So wait, so you're in college, doing your thing in college, partying, streaming part-time and whatnot. At what point did it hit you like, yo, this is actually something that I could really pursue full-time? What was that moment like for you?
That didn't come until years later. I graduated, had a full-time job, and then I went full-time streaming.
All right. Mae, what about you? What is your history like?
So I'm a nurse. Oh, sorry, Kat. Sorry, you get distracted. So I was a nurse, and during nursing school, I got back into gaming. I've always loved gaming. Like, I was part of like a clan when I was in middle school for Counter-Strike 1.4 to 1.6, and like we were like every day after school we'd try and like scrim. No, dude, here's the worst part is I was playing on my dad's work computer with like 56K modem, so it was bad trying to scrim with 400 ping. Like why is she here? But they gave me a chance and it was fun. But like, of course, in high school and college, I had to stop to just like focus on school. But nursing school was so stressful, and the last thing I want to do after like my clinicals and doing my homework is talk to people, because obviously in nursing, it's great, but it's exhausting to be as compassionate and be so open and receptive and empathizing with everybody around you. That I was just like, I want to just close off and play video games, and I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, I need to recharge my battery. So I got back into gaming, and I think it was around Call of Duty Black Ops 1 that I like kind of really took into gaming again, and online gaming at least. Like, my competitive juices started like flowing again. And I remember doing this like one game in Black Ops 1 and did great. I got all my kill streaks. My friends were like, yo, you're actually really good at this. Why don't you post a video and talk about it? I put up a chair and shoeboxes and my iPhone in front of my living room TV and recorded the theater mode of this game and talked over it and like, so this is what happened in this game. And I was like commentating that way. It was like the worst quality. The audio was bunk. It was horrible. But that was my very first YouTube video. And my friends watched it. They really liked it. People in my school like found it and they really liked it. And they were like, you need to just keep doing this. I think you're like, you know, I like how you describe things. I like how you explain things. I think it's pretty fun. I'm like, I'm not a pro player. We're like, yeah, but that's the thing. You're just relatable. Like you're a bad gamer trying to improve and it's helping other casual gamers try to improve. And that's why where I got my name, Mrs. Mae. I miss a lot of my shots and my name is Mae. And that's kind of how it goes. And so like, you know, during nursing, I got out of nursing school. I did the whole thing for like 2 years. But also doing YouTube on the side. So I had like a full-time job and YouTube was a full-time job as well. And when I started noticing that I was able to kind of make money, I think my first paycheck was like a $50 paycheck because that was like that cusp, right? Like if you pass that $50 thing, you get paid by whatever MCN that you're under. I bought Urban Outfitter pants that I don't wear anymore. But I was like, hey, if I can do that, if I really just put my mind into this, then I could do this. And so I did YouTube and then Twitch for 4 years. And make sure to read your contracts, kids, because I was exclusive on Twitch and I did not realize it. And then I streamed on Facebook and I lost my partnership and that is my bad. So now I'm on Facebook and it's been great.
Well, I mean, Mae, I also had to ask you this because I remember there was a time that I think we might have talked on Twitter about this, about how people see a lot of streamers of where they are now, but their upbringings are very different. And you were saying that, and correct me if I'm wrong, you came from a low income area, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So how did that impact your kind of gaming experience? How did your upbringing impact your decisions when it came to streaming and gaming and things like that?
Well, I think my parents definitely like frowned upon the idea that you're leaving nursing to do what? Like this isn't like something that's stable. What do you mean? Like there's no way. But I think I put them in a lot of videos. My dad is on World Star at one point. Like one of the vlogs that we did, like he's just so funny that he ended up on World Star and like people at work was like, they know, we've seen this guy. So he understood like the reach that this has and like how I could have made money from it eventually. But my upbringing, like I didn't really have games. Like when I was younger, I always just kind of watched my cousins and everybody play video games. And I was just kind of there. There wasn't really like, like an option to like try to go into like computer science or whatever it was. Like definitely went into debt with nursing school. And I didn't even want to be a nurse. Like you just have to be a nurse because it gave you money. Like it was like that one job that always people are looking, nurses for.
They could probably use you now.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Sometimes I feel kind of bad. Like, why don't you go back? And I'm like, there's a lot of reasons why. But like there definitely like the money that I saved after I was a nurse and the savings that I had was the only way that I really allowed myself to go full time with YouTube and content creation. I otherwise would not have done that because it's just too volatile. Like it's just an industry that could just like flip flop upside down. You don't know what's going to happen the next day. Like you could be making tens and thousands and hundreds and thousands of dollars and have this following and then out of nowhere be swept out of you, under you somehow. And some of it may not even be your fault, So it's scary. But I definitely like, despite the, I was like living up very, very poor and like the circumstances that I had with my family, they were still incredibly supportive. And I think that's the only way that I was even able to make it out of it successfully.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie, Erin, I love the struggle, right? But the one thing that I always think about is how if it wasn't for gaming, I would still be in IT. I would be doing computers. Like I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff right here. Ava, So you were in college and you started streaming, you got your full-time job. Who would Ava be today if it wasn't for gaming? And what would have led you here to what was your upbringing like? Were you born and raised in Texas?
No, I'm Canadian actually, like originally.
Oh, okay.
Well, still Canadian, not originally. still Canadian. I don't know. So I got my degree in speech language pathology and audiology. So basically language disorders and stuff.
Okay.
And I went into therapy to work with children with autism because I took the class out of curiosity because my younger brother was diagnosed with it. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck this means because I'm way older than all of them. And so I took the class out of curiosity, loved it. So I got my degree in it, and then I don't know where I would still be. That job is hard. It's a hard job. And I don't wonder if I would have burnt out eventually. Because even just after a year of doing it, I was like, man, I'm tired. I just want to go home and May, I just want to go home and game and stream at night.
Different levels of burnouts though.
Right.
How do you guys compare the burnout from your previous jobs compared to the burnout of being a streamer?
The burnout of being a streamer is at least I'm still making money. The burnout in a job like nursing or being a therapist is you get shit pay. So to be real, it's a little more doable because I'm not making $12 an hour, I'm able to pay my bills, where it's that job, it's you have to work 12 hours a day to get just the mediocre pay, at least now.
And just to kind of echo on that, it's not even just the pay, it's there's people that depend on you, right? The burnout of, as a streamer, if you can't stream, you don't really feel responsible for some people. But as a nurse, if I'm not able to come in and they can't find someone to cover for me, I feel for my patients that I see every single day, that I know that to take care of every single day. And if I can't come in, it's really kind of difficult to sit at home and not feel so guilty about being at home, right? We talk about how streaming is a very stressful job, and it is not an easy job. It really isn't just sitting here and playing games. There's a lot that comes with it, and I feel all of us know that. But there's really there's not really a lot of things that
different kind of stress.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So while we're on the stress topic, before we even lose it, what is the biggest types of stress you guys get into with this new streaming field as well? What really gets on you? Is it always being in touch with the communities, always having yourself out there? Is it the prep?
Long hours?
Exactly. Because normies, the normies that don't stream hard, go hard in the paint like you two do, we're really unaware. I'm not hip.
Hey, I'll let you go first.
I don't even know where to start with that one.
Yeah. Okay, so for me personally, for a while, it was always crap, I can't take time off because you have to stay relevant, X, Y, and Z, right? If you don't stream, your viewers are gonna find somebody else or whatever it may be that lives in your stupid brain that'll happen when you take 2 days off. But lately, after the pandemic and after not being able to go out, I realized I'm not gonna live in that anymore. I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna do my thing. And if I come back and my viewers are still there, then that's great, and I can build up on that again. But I also don't want to live fearful of being able to live my life because of what will happen with my stream. I found that I'm also able to create money outside of just the monetizing my stream. So if I can't bank off of my stream, I can still bank on the community and the things that I've built outside of streaming, because Ava and I are really good content creators in that we don't just rely on one avenue of the gaming industry. We've built so many things outside of just going live every single day. So I feel personally that was initially my fear, but it's been pretty good being able to kind of live off of everything else that we've been able to do outside of streaming personally. But that was the one big stress.
Yeah. And then to play off that I think no matter what size you are, no matter how small, no matter how big, no matter how successful, that is always going to be a stressor in your life. And especially now with the way gaming is going, it's not just games anymore, right? You have to be an influencer, content creator, streamer, YouTuber, TikToker, Instagram.
Mhm.
Like you have to be all these things now, which is just all more like avenues of stress. No matter how many good things happen to you, you'll always be that little small streamer that started 10 years ago that just cares about the numbers, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean, even with the stress, right? Velly and I were talking about how, like, I mean, of course, behind the scenes, we're definitely going to talk about the stress, and we're always going to talk about, like, oh, you know what happened to me today? Like, fuck this shit. Like, the amount of times I've said fuck this shit, I feel like we all have said this at some point. We don't mean it, but we kind of do. But with it comes experiences and moments that otherwise we wouldn't have had. Like, it's a very non-conforming lifestyle. We could travel wherever we want to go. We could set our own hours. It's so different. So like this, stress aside, what are these experiences as streamers that you guys have that are like very much non-typical that you realize once you're in it, like, wow, like this is different?
Stuff that you never had a chance of even thinking about doing in your past.
Yeah.
life.
I feel like that's like everything, because to be real, like it's people our age and a little bit older, but like our generation really that's like driving this field. This streaming and live streaming and content creation is within the last 10 years at least, right? Like we've really seen it blow up. So it's like I'm doing stuff that I could never even picture because it's never been done. It's crazy. Like this ultimate Twitch IRL tournament. Like who would have thought like I could win money doing IRL challenges like with a friend throwing a ball at a sticky wall. Like it's crazy.
That's amazing. May, what about you? Because you were talking about traveling and whatnot, and I'm gonna be real, even for myself, I've not had options to travel like I can today's. And not only that, but I could travel the way I want to with no restrictions nowadays. Compared to before.
Get that first class when you want to, get your feet up, get that glass,
I never knew.
Before the landing gear even lifts up, can I get vodka? And so one cool thing that recently happened actually was EDC and being able to work with Facebook Gaming and Play Loud. So I've been going to EDC for the past 5 years. My very first one was 2016, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I've wanted to go every single year after that. So being able to go and be in episodes with DJs that I went to go see in the previous years, like that is so wild. Toki Monster was in one of them. AvaGG was in another. And I got to play games with them and I got to talk with them and then go to the festival after that and enjoy my time there. Like in my head, 5 years ago, exactly, in my head, in 2016, if you were to tell me that I would be going to Vegas to get paid and play games with those two awesome DJs, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're lying. There's no way. Like, even with the trajectory of how well my streaming career is going, I wouldn't have thought 5 years ago that would have been on my bingo card. Like, it's not. There's no way. Like, that is, like, one of those things that, like, I have to pinch myself and be like, no, that's crazy. Like, I got to go there for free and I got paid. So, like, come on now.
It's like basically anytime I get hired to do something at an event or work with someone, I'm like, me? Really?
Like, how has this shit ultimately changed your life, though? Let's be honest. So you're talking about being in content pieces with DJs and whatnot. Ava, I saw you was in New York recently. You're traveling, doing your damn thing. So when you're out in public, do you guys get recognized? And also, it's kind of like a loaded question. Has this like lifestyle pretty much changed who you are as a person? Like, be honest. I'm going to be real. Like, I got a little bit more bougie. I drink a lot of sparkling water now. Like, my whole quality of life has stepped up, if you know what I'm saying. What about the two of you? Because I know it has.
How has life changed, like money-wise, or? Sorry,
just like lifestyle. Like
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yes,
I can afford to buy plants now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, aren't you a plant mom? Like you got mad plants?
Yeah.
Do you know how many?
You should talk about the last time you were in LA and what you did to get your plants, Ava. That would be interesting. Unless that's a secret, then don't talk about it. Never.
Oh no, it's fine.
I just out you.
I'm bougie now, right? My lifestyle has changed in that I went to a plant store, couldn't bring the plants with me on the airplane, so I hired someone to drive them from LA to come to Texas.
A bougie plant driver?
Yes.
Well, how many plants do you have?
I have no idea at this point.
Like 10s, 20s,
50,
30s?
I'm sure.
50?
More than
Probably
that.
more than that. More than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you putting them?
Are you
Like, does
poisoned?
They're
every room have like
downstairs.
10 plants?
This room doesn't have any, but yeah, basically.
Doesn't have any. I
What are you
see
talking about?
5
1,
plants
2,
right
3,
now.
4.
This room doesn't have any. I'm scared
Yeah,
of
like
rooms that
some
have
like hanging on the
some.
wall right there.
It has some.
It's like it's not enough though.
It's not
Exactly.
enough.
Were you always like a plant mom, or was this something because you're like, oh, I can afford this? It's something that you like really dove into.
I've always really liked nature, and especially like it might be the Canadian me, but I've always just loved like nature and being outside and in games, like I was always like a wood elf or, you know, like an archer or something. Like even in games, I would always pick like naturey kind of characters. And so I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago, I just was like, why don't I? This plant is cute. Why don't I just buy it? And then it drastically changed from there. Yeah, yeah. Because this was I started at my old apartment, which was 3 years ago at least, and then I had lived there for so like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh wow.
It wasn't a snowball, it was an avalanche. Because that's like 3 years ago. That was a whole lot.
May, it's like a tattoo. She got one and just kept on going.
I actually have an adjacent curious question too for you, Ava, because I wasn't fully aware that you're Canadian. How is that process of being able to stay in the US as a streamer? Is it like a work visa thing? Like, because I don't know how often people will identify streaming or identify certain jobs in gaming as like real jobs. So like, how does, you know, for anyone who's listening as a streamer who wants to relocate, like what was that process like?
I actually I have a green card, so I can't speak to that.
Ah, okay.
I came here like as a teenager.
Okay.
Oh, so you were already here
Yeah.
way before. Okay. Well, there's different, I mean, hey, there's different like levels to it, right? I know some
Well,
people, you know.
Who you live
Have your parents marry an American, and then you can get a green card, and then you can come work in the U.S. There you go.
That's the
I mean, that's honest. I mean, take it. Oh my gosh. May, you and your tattoos. Tell us more. Did you just get a new one?
Speaking of someone who snowballed, like she
Yeah, that was
she had like none. I feel like 2
3
years
years
ago.
ago.
What
3
is-
years ago.
The one
So
that's
this
like,
one's a new one.
oh, that's dope.
So this is from the movie Ponyo from Studio Ghibli. Watched
Yeah.
it first time, and this is the scene where she sees ramen being made in front of her, and she's in love with him, and she goes, "Damn!" She eats it right away, and then starts to fall asleep. And Mike was like, "You are literally Ponyo. Every time I eat, I'm like excited about it. I dance and I get super duper pumped, and then I fall asleep every time, every meal." So I got it. But the tattoo thing, yeah, like Ava said, I didn't really get one until like 3-4 years ago. And I always was like kind of pondering, the first tattoo has to be super duper special. It has to be this, this, and that. And then finally, I think we were in Vegas with a bunch of friends, and we were drunk.
Super special.
Really,
Super special
really
tattoo.
drunk. I
Really
know, I
meaningful.
know. And we were really, really drunk. And then our friends had a great idea of, hey, let's all get tattoos. And I'm like, okay. So drunk me, I'm like, I don't know. We look up this place. It's the only 24-hour tattoos place, I wonder why, in Vegas called Precious Sluts, okay? So all 6 of us go there. It's literally, I literally have a picture.
What the fuck is
I
that
have a
name?
picture in front of it, like this, like ready to get my tattoo. I'm like, yes, first tattoo. And we were like, well, let's make it small. Let's all get hand tattoos. And so I didn't know what to get, and so I got a less than 3. It is so bonky. Like I haven't gotten this fixed. It looks so rough. It is a rough. The 3 is not even there anymore. Like it's really trying its best. Okay. But I don't want to get it touched up. my boyfriend Mike and one of our best friends Stu both got matching tattoos. I was drunkenly kind of annoyed by that because I'm like,
Right.
look, dude, I see your full naked body and I do unspeakable things to you, but you're getting your first matching tattoo with this man. How dare you? They got fancy on their pinky. So they have fancy in nice italics written on their pinky. So when they drink, you see the fancy finger up. And then three other friends who,
That's wild.
unfortunately, I'm not friends with anymore for reasons. We got tattoos, and that's the first one. And then it honestly is an avalanche, like snowball effect, because after that, this big thing with my cats was my next tattoo.
like
Just my cats. It's huge. Now I have
Now
a
you have
pizza
to add to it.
I do, yeah. When she gets bigger, I have to add Thundercat, and she's gonna be down here. But I made space because I knew I was gonna get
Aw.
another cat eventually.
Is Ava
So
the
I made
friend that just
space.
encourages you to get more tats?
Yeah, did she egg you on? Like, do it.
Because that's what I hear
No.
all
No,
around.
I feel like that's probably Cheney, if anything.
Well, no, my friend Stu and Mike and I, we whenever we go traveling, if we're traveling together, we get tattoos together. This B one was when we went to Brussels. So Mike has a big bee. Our other friend Stu has one that like opens the wings, and I have this bee. So we just kind of go to like different places, and if we travel, we like the experience. We truly enjoyed it. We'll commemorate it with a tattoo. I don't know. After that first, like, I go, oh, it needs to be memorable, and I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, man, life is short. I honestly
do it.
don't care. Mike pinned it because like somebody was like, why do you get your tattoos? And I couldn't really think about it. And Mike's like, you're a collector. If you like the artist and you like what you see, you just automatically get it. Like that's just you, and that's fine. It's your body. Who cares? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Thank you. And he'd be like, yeah, get that tattoo. He's
That's
like,
actually a pretty dope story.
yeah,
I agree with that. I don't think every tattoo has to have meaning.
yeah.
I don't
There's
think any
definitely a
them
lot
do.
of things on my. I have a girl with a tattoo, a flower tattoo on her because I am a girl with a flower tattoo. That is- this-
Levels.
There's
Exactly.
an Inception tattoo.
Tattooception. Right. You know what? There's actually something that was on my mind. May, so when I've seen you, you've always had, your 8 foot tall boo thing with you. Shout out to Diesel. And how is no, legitimately, because streaming, managing your content, your social pages and whatnot, that takes a lot of fucking time, May, right? How do you balance that life and your relationship? Or is it to the point now where it's like you two are so comfortable? He's like, all right, babe, go ahead, go away, stream for 9 hours, play video games, I'll see you tonight. Like,
Yeah.
how long did it take for that dynamic to solidify? And just how is it overall?
I think it's always been like that from the very beginning of my relationship with him, and I've been very thankful of that. Like the boyfriend before him was somebody who didn't even have Facebook. He didn't even have any social media. He was just definitely like off the social media grid. And I
Yeah.
enjoyed that initially. Like I thought it was like, oh, this is the relationship you need to have when you're such a public figure and blah 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 blah. But it became extremely exhausting having to explain like the things that I have to do or why am I going to this event and like bringing him to the event and having him meet people and like how do I know these people? Like it became extremely exhausting to try and bring this person into my life. Even though they were interested, it just didn't work out. So when Mike and I first started dating, it was just easy. Like, I think it was more for me, like trying to understand his streaming because while I stream a lot, I think I take more time creating content outside of streaming while he'll play Destiny for hours on end and he'll be like, we'll see you later, May. And it's like a joke, because it is that type of game that like you dive into and then you just keep going with your friends for hours and then you disappear. And that's like the type of gamer that he is. He'll sit down, like literally start a game and finish it all the way to the end without like getting up. Like he'll stream that long hour just to finish that one game. That's
I
it.
remember seeing that video of like how you guys had it was an earthquake while you went in under the desk. He was just like, I'm still gaming.
Yeah, that's him. That's the type of thing he's like that. And that's happened recently again too. Anyway, so I like it for me, it was more of like me understanding him and how he plays like that. And I think the fact that we've also both have the same not necessarily the same hobbies, because he doesn't like plants like I do. And he loves our cats, but he doesn't really love the cats like I do. So there's like a lot of things that we both uniquely do ourselves, but we still bring to each other. So like sporting events, he'll bring me in, and that's like our special time together. Or these music festivals, these are our special weekends and adventures together. But when we're home and he has to stream and I have to stream, I've kind of coined him, even though we're not married. I'm like, you're my house husband. Like I just need, you don't have hours with Twitch. I have hours with Facebook. So if I have to meet my hours, I would love it if you would do the laundry, clean the kitchen, clean the house, and if you need help with the cats, I will help you. But if you could clean after the cats or like feed them and stuff like that, I would appreciate that. And he's been really good about it. And like every once in a while, if he's not, I'll find that TikTok of that guy because he's like, Joe, we're the patriarchy, and he's just doing chores, and I'll just send that to him. Be like, wow, isn't that cool? And he'd be like, yeah, got it, noted. I'm going.
For a second, for all the fellas that are watching this right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fucking jealous are you of that whole house husband situation? That's phenomenal. You guys have a really good balance. Ava, since the last time you and I spoke, I don't know if anything's changed or not since then, but I'm not sure if you have dated or anything like that, but when you have, and it started to get serious, has your streaming schedule and all of that stuff really like kind of gotten in the way, or has that not been an issue?
100%. I feel like it is with every couple until they find maybe like a rhythm. Because it's all fun and you're playing games together at first and it's new and it's all lovey-dovey and you're having a great time, and then your stream schedules don't align, or someone is stuck in the grind and the other person isn't stuck in the grind and they're the one that wants attention and the other person's like, no, I have to grind the stream right now, like the channel's doing well, or I took time off, so now I have to stream. So it can be hard. I've only done it once in the industry, and I don't think I would do it again.
Are you still looking for a normie to date?
I'm not really looking for anyone specifically. If it happens, it happens.
There we go. Shout out to that.
I feel like that's usually when things like real like good relationships happen. It's like when you're not looking for it and it just comes about. But I also know that you two have had your own personal like journey and experience. Ava, I know more recently you had your personal journey of determining if you're demisexual. Is that correct? And then Mae, you are
Bisexual.
Yes.
I was like, how did you know that?
I did it with listen, research.
Wow,
we
research.
research.
Yeah.
We do research, man. I'm a former journalist, so I always I was diving into all your guys' content to make sure we had a really good conversation. But as part of it, like how is it navigating that experience so publicly? Because I know you had it on Twitter, and I guess it was around the time where I think various people were talking about asexuality and all these different things. Like, how is it though that you're going through this self-discovery but in a very public format?
Honestly, it just helped just because I've not that I like cared too much, but I always did, like, at the back of my mind, wonder if something was wrong with me, because I just couldn't seem to have these relationships or attractions to like people that all my friends could always have, like all throughout college, all in streaming. Like my friends could hook up at bars and just be fine, and it wasn't like a stressor for them or anything. And for me, like, I would get like anxiety and I'm not comfortable and I don't enjoy it at all. And so I was just like, we've always joked in my like friend, like my college friend group, that I was asexual. Like, it was just like a joke. But like, I had looked into it and I was like, that's clearly not me, because I have had relationships. And then when I am in a relationship, I do love having sex. But when I'm not in a relationship with someone, I don't think about it. I don't crave it. Like, I don't like it. It's nothing for me. So it's just nice to know that like it's a thing and I'm not like fucking broken, I guess. And then I think it'll help me in future relationships, because now I know what I need to do to like, I guess, have fun in one.
Between asexual and demisexual? Because I thought I was a demisexual, and that's when you're not sexually, you don't sexually really want somebody. You don't want to knock their boots until you actually fall for them romantically.
Yeah, that's demi. Yeah.
How does that differentiate from asexual?
Oh, asexual is there's no sexual attraction to like other people at all, I think. Like, you might maybe have sexual desires like with yourself. Like I can't speak on that. Like maybe like masturbating or something. I don't know. But I know it is like there's not sexual attraction to other people. Like you feel love for other people and you want a relationship, but you don't want to have sex with them per se.
Does that add additional challenge in terms of navigating dating? Because now on top of being a streamer, you're already having to navigate dating, but does that add like another unique level to it?
I think it does. Like, what have you ever dated a man and he hasn't want to had sex by like date number 2? Like, I feel like I have never had that.
Actually, I've been on a date with a guy and did not have sex until later on.
I think I need a date.
He did not end up being gay either. So let me just disclaimer. And I had long hair. I was much different.
It's not like it's a bad thing, but it's just like a natural thing, right? Like people feel sexual attraction, and you know, you had a good time, and we've had a couple drinks, let's bang it out. And I'm like, I can't do that, and now I know I can't, and I'm like, so how do I discuss this with him? How am I gonna be like, we can't have sex until I feel emotionally comfortable with you, and that could be 2 dates in, or that could be 10 dates in. I don't know, because there's no like. It can be an instantaneous connection with someone. Like that could happen to me, but it hasn't happened yet.
All right, there's someone out there. I promise. There's definitely someone out there. And then Mae, how do you navigate your Bioness and especially in a relationship and stuff? Because I know there's always these because I'm bi as well. There's always this misconception around bisexuality, as if if you're bi, you're like promiscuous, and if you go into a relationship with a man, that means you don't like women anymore, or vice versa. Like, how do you navigate that?
I definitely heard that recently from a close friend, actually, and I was kind of like taken back, like, because we were talking about like the community, the LGBTQ plus community, and I was like, I'm part of that community, and my friend's like, no, you're not, and I'm like, what? I was like, just because I've been with someone for like 6 years doesn't necessarily mean I lost my attraction to women. I definitely, like I just personally, like I've just always been open about my sexuality with my community, and I think that's what made it so much easier to have these conversations.
And Mae is like, I was gonna say, Mae is actually bi. Like maybe that person thought you were like pretending or something. I was like, Mae is definitely attracted to women.
Yeah. It's not, it's not anything that's like I've hidden with my community, with my friends. Even when I told my parents, they thought it was funny. They thought I was just, I don't know if my parents think it's serious. I think my parents are like, haha, yeah, whatever. They like never really took it seriously, because I really did like always have like hetero relationships. Like I've had girlfriends, don't get me wrong. They just always end up so bad that it takes me back a little bit. Like I just don't think I could have like a decent relationship with a woman. Not saying that'll ever that'll never happen, but it's just my experiences of kind of like pulled me aside. You're pulled me aside and tried. Yes, obviously now it's like I'm in a relationship with Mike. But I'm just saying, in just general, like back then, like one of the worst exes I've had, unfortunately, had been women, and they've been so vindictive, and they've like literally went after me in so many negative ways versus men who haven't. So as a personal preference, I've always felt like a little bit safer with men, but that doesn't take away my, that me being bisexual. I still love women,
Like that tweet you put out?
Yeah.
Is there a story behind that tweet?
Yeah, so we were at the club, and Mike had to go get drinks, and I was just wearing like my motorcycle jacket. I was drinking. I was just in the back, like just doing that. And this girl, super hot, by the way. I was looking at her the whole time. She came up to me and she goes, "Just want to let you know, you really give off bad bitch energy, but I'm straight. Please don't get the wrong idea. But I just think you look super fucking cool. You look super hot. I just want to tell you that." And there's been like a lot of times, like honestly, like this is like when I haven't been with a woman in a while. I haven't obviously pursued a woman in a while, but like definitely feeds my ego. It's happened a couple of times. Like there was one time in Vegas. I think were you there, Ava? I think like it was after EDC, and we went to a club.
Women always hit on you. I don't know.
We went to a club in Vegas, and you had to like stand in line to get. Yeah, you were there. You had to stand in line to get
God,
into the
okay.
dance floor. And there was this girl who had a table with her friends, and she goes to the security guard, taps him, and he'd be like, "I want her. Bring her." And I told the security guard, I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm with my friends. This is my boyfriend." I kept looking at her. I was like, cute. She was super hot, by the way.
Don't
And, like,
remember this at all.
definitely some moments in my head, man. Like, if only, but obviously I didn't. She was super hot.
As the dude here, I'm hearing all these stories right now. Why are women so aggressive and openly hit on other women, but they don't know how to flirt with men? What is that?
Oh, we know how to flirt with men.
Then
We
why
just don't want to
they?
flirt with men.
No, we just don't
You're
want to
going
flirt with men. Well, we know.
It's more
We know,
creative
like-
and fun to flirt with women versus men.
From personal experience. No, I'm playing. Yeah, that's weird. That's okay. So let me ask this then. So now
Women are fun to flirt with.
You could like you don't even have to go any further.
Yeah.
Like sometimes women just know like, okay, we're just flirting and this is fun and like it doesn't have to be anything super sexual. We're just really feeling each other. But men, it's always like, oh, I'm in. They're already like doing things, you know? We're like ready to go. It's like, no, like sometimes flirting is just fun. It doesn't necessarily have to lead anything to anything else.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Okay, so let me ask this. So now we're getting into, sexuality, people that we like to hit on, yada yada yada. Okay. How well do you okay, May, you got that big old smile, you and Ava. How well do you think your viewers really know the real you? Like, is there a side of you that you keep really separate from your streaming side? Like, I don't know if it was brought up earlier. I don't know if you guys are like, family PG streamers or whatnot. Is there a side of you that you don't share with the internet? Or are you just pretty open with who the fuck you are?
I'm pretty open.
I'm pretty open too. My family problems I haven't really like openly talked about. And I think eventually I will because there's been times where I had to like take off stream. But
Yeah.
other than that, I'm pretty open.
Okay, so how about this then? All right, so Ava, I know that you have a fan house. So this is my question then. So for the viewers out there and whatnot, how, as a public figure and a big name streamer, how many times have you had to check people from crossing that line, if there was one to be crossed? Like, have you ever dealt with some crazy shit being out
Yeah.
there and just being who you are?
Like in your own words, Ava, you tweeted about cum tributes.
Oh,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that was before Fan House. That's just part of being a woman streamer, regardless. Fan House only just happened because all that shit happens without my consent. Anyways, I may as well make money off of it. That literally was how Fan House started. Because
Smart.
they do all this shit anyways. They clip everything. They take Instagram pictures that are completely innocent and non-sexual in any way and do shit to it and Photoshop you onto porn star bodies,
What?
have stories where they describe like them sexually, like having sex with you and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, it's all sorts of things. They do it without your permission, without your consent. Fan House is at least my way of giving them permission in a way. They gave me money, so you do whatever you want with that photo and video now.
One of the cool things about getting tattoos was debunking quickly that Asian girl that shows her boobs is not me. Because before my tattoos, the only tell thing that I had was my mole here. But they could be like, well, you photoshopped that. That's still you in that picture with your boobs out. Like, no, it's not me. Just because it's like it would be a girl with her nudes straight down from like the lip down. And people were saying, well, that's May's nudes. And so I was like, the one thing about the tattoos is now you can't fake that it's me or not me. And so, like Ava says, they're going to do it anyway. So...
Yeah. As streamers, how often are you guys fetishized?
I don't
All the
want to
time.
know.
Right, all the time. How often do you have to delete like clips, Ava, of you just standing up? Like there was one of me sneezing. Like people were like
Sneezing, burping, scratching, standing up to go to the bathroom. They literally
Stretching.
fetishize everything.
yeah.
If they even see feet in the camera, they're clipping it. If they even see a foot in the camera, they're clipping it.
I have like
Why
a
are
wiki
people so
feet.
horny for feet. That's wild.
A wiki feet?
Someone made
There's
a
the
wiki
wiki
feed
feed.
of
Yeah,
me.
there's a wiki feed. Wiki feed is a thing.
Yeah. And it's like there was a show that I went to, Circus Survive. It's like one of my favorite like bands. And it was like a rock band. And I went into the pit. People stood on my shoes and I lost my shoes. So I took a picture of it on Instagram. I was like, this show was so sick. I have bruises on my feet and I lost my shoe. And they took a picture of that, screenshot it, and put it on WikiFeet. That and like there's literal like me jumping into a beanbag. My feet are up in the air. That screenshot is there. Like so many things, like things that are like you don't even bat an eye at because you're completely being normal, but they're like, ooh, this is sexy. Oh God, I don't even want to think about it. But it's there.
That's some horny shit. That's wild. I'm sorry.
No, it is, and it happens almost every day. And I feel like there's always got to be some one dude on your chat like saying some dumb shit. It always is. They just kind of get out of it. Like one time, I was just wearing like a regular like tank top, and they were like, "Oh, we could see your nipples through that," and I'm just like, "Dude, your mom has nipples. Like, come on now. It's 2021. Why are we still pointing this out? It's warm as fuck in Los Angeles. Let me not wear a bra. Let me be comfortable in my own fucking office. God,
It's like just look and admire and shut the fuck up. That's all you need to
exactly.
do. Shut the fuck up.
Just don't even tell me. Hey, if you're here and you're like, ew, I always tell people like when they say some shit like that, I'd be like, my guy, go to the free website. Just get rid of it real quick. Come back to me with your post-nut clarity, and then we're good. We could have a conversation. We could be chill because I don't want to be here to babysit you with your boner. Like this is not what this is for.
Does that make you more
Yeah.
self-conscious then? Like, does that make you self-conscious about what you wear, your content,
Lot
what
of the
even your
time.
photos? Like, do you like before you post a photo, you're like, let me make sure there's like
No feet.
Photos I'm fine. Oh yeah, now I don't do feet in photos for sure. 100% I don't. And it's not that they made me feel bad. They just mentioned it so fucking much on just like normal posts that I got like tired of like looking at my comments and just saying ooh feet.
Mm-hmm.
So now
Yeah,
they don't get.
excited. Yeah.
And I
What
did that
about-
in like an Instagram story. I was like, well, you guys ruined it. You don't get any fucking feet now. So congrats, you played yourself. Played your fucking self. Now you don't get feet.
What about when it comes to beauty standards? Especially as women, and we know how people are, like, do you guys usually get pressured to be a certain way or any type of feedback about, let's say, even your tattoos? Because a lot of people are fucking weird about that as well. Is that really common? Especially.
Oh yeah, they always have an opinion.
And on the side of that, what about when it comes to like sponsors and opportunities like that as well as streamers? That's interesting.
So I had a company back out. We've been talking back and forth, and I posted recently about my festival outfits for Hardfest, and I did like a little TikTok dance about it. And I posted that, and they said that's too scandalous, which was even my agent was like, "That's kind of BS." Like, she's fully clothed. She's not showing anything. Like, she's just showing an outfit that she would wear for a festival that she's excited about. Like, but they were like, yeah, still too scandalous. So it happens. And it's unfortunate. And, you know, it's weird because not going to out this brand, but they definitely worked with people that not necessarily doing like showing the same amount of skin that I was in posts. So it was just like, kind of like, what? This is kind of weird, but it has happened.
What about you, Ava?
I don't think I've had a brand per se back out that I know of. But definitely like if I change something about myself, someone always has to say something or have an opinion on it. Like they think I care.
what? Have you like changed your hair color?
Change my hair color. When I got a breast reduction, oh my god, you would
God
be surprised
gave you that.
by the amount of actually upset men over that.
Wait, so when you got your breast reduction, they were messaging and commenting once they found out and saying that they were mad about it?
They messaged my doctor. They were so upset. One of them.
What?
Yes.
They were invested in the titties.
Yes.
Yo, that is wild.
That's some crazy entitlement. Like
I love her though. She called them out on Instagram, but I could not believe the audacity. Man, there's a reason why this is a phrase, and That is one of them right there.
Shit,
The audacity. Got lots of
Oh
it, that's for sure.
God. So, like, I mean, that obviously, like I was mentioning, that leads into like, because as a streamers, you guys are opening up, you're showing your personality, and then obviously people feel like they know you, and sometimes that creates entitlement from certain supporters, certain people, and like, what is like, I guess, like for those who don't understand, like having to navigate that, like, what is that experience, and do you guys feel comfortable with telling them like, hey, stop it, you're not entitled? Or do you ever have that worry of, oh, I may lose followers or anything like that? Or you're just like, nah, fuck all ya.
Oh,
No, I'm always worried about that. I never call them out. Never. Never.
he always does it. By the way.
I'm
Yeah,
about to
Why are you
say,
laughing? Why are you laughing, May?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
wait,
Ava loves her viewers and paid supporters and everybody.
yeah. So wait, so
Hmm.
Ava, the why is it that people are now say you hate men?
You hate us.
Probably because I make fun of them all the time.
Is that like is that like does that come from like dealing with some entitlement stuff, or is it just in general?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the only kind of men I call out are obviously like the entitled, shitty ones that are they want to be called out, right? They obviously want my attention. I'm willing to give it to them.
Yeah.
Anyone who actually follows me knows that I love men. Like, obviously, my audience is 90% men. Like, I have good guy. Like, the reason I even know May is because of Mike, who's a really good male friend of mine. So, like, I just troll. You know, I just have fun because otherwise, I actually might hate men.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had like a lot of Texas men and people upset during the whole conversation around the abortion law.
Oh yeah.
How does when it comes to stuff like that? Wait, so was Ava like outspoken about that? Like what is it like when a big number of your base is outspoken against a view of yours when it comes to something like that? Like, does shit really get scary? Because I mean, as a black host and commentator, whenever I would speak out about like race issues, like I'll admit, like that was terrifying for me.
I mean, it's definitely not easy. You have to be willing to understand that people are gonna attack you and come at you and try and fight with you over literally everything. So,
Yeah, actually,
as long as you're willing to do that.
Yeah, I've
Ugh.
like definitely told my moderators that if there's anything that, obviously that we all don't align with and things like that, we don't even make space for them. That's why I have this pizza tattoo. If there's like a troll, any racist remarks, any sexist remark, lewd, or anything like that, I just tell my moderators in my community to spam pizza, or we start talking about pizza. So like we saturate the chat into something else so that they don't even have the space in my streams to talk any dumb shit. Because I don't have the time of day for it. I don't care. I don't care to give you that platform to like say your dumb shit. So you just move on from it.
I like always joke that I use it like as a teaching moment if I do, like, because I get comments all day long and I ignore 99% of them, but sometimes I'll like quote tweet one or mock one or laugh at one because it's just so dumb. But then I also use it as a way of like showing like other men that follow me like this is not okay, because then they discuss it with each other in comments and stuff, and they're like, this is why this isn't okay, and it can be used. Like, I do it in a funny way for sure, but I really do think like it's also another way of like being like, hey, this is not okay behavior. Like, we're laughing that this guy sent me a dick picture, but we know it's like not okay behavior, right?
Yeah.
What's the thing what I would do sending dick pics? We'll talk about the last episode, Erin. And it's just weird, but at the end of the day, you two got to be about your money, right? So let me ask this, all right? So hanging around the Twitch Rivals people, I learned that y'all know how to make money flow, and y'all do it extremely well. So when it comes to doing what you do, what is essentially like the
I think you were talking with a different group than me. You were talking to the rich group.
It was a few.
Good.
So tell us their secrets, actually, because I wasn't there.
I don't know. I was
Share the
like,
secret.
what has been your most successful avenue being a streamer? Because me, I want to stream now, And I've been thinking about this for a while, but like someone like me, like I'm lost. What is something that works extremely well for you?
Like
Uh,
make
Making money, like whether it's making yourself bigger or just pulling a big check. What is something that you really enjoy doing that's ultimately hella successful in your field?
I don't
That's
think
such a
streaming has ever really been the most driving area as far as money goes for me. I think it's making myself extremely marketable to other brands and like companies outside of the gaming industry that's been super duper helpful. Like working with Adidas, they sent me like the Xbox Adidas for like the 20th anniversary. Like I worked with them a long time ago, but to be able to get like some of that stuff still, like that I think to me is more important. There's also been like other ways that because like I work with Adidas now, a lot of other companies kind of see like, hey, she's somebody that I may want to work with in other brands or in anything else. I feel
Right.
like that sponsorships and partnerships with other companies have been a little bit more easier because as well, like I don't have to worry about like missing streams or worrying about how much I stream or if I'm working hard enough to get these subscribers or these stars or these bits or these tips or anything like that. It is just a consistent like cash flow, like to be able to get to secure this deal with whatever brand and do one or a few deliverables for it. And then I get paid tenfold of what one stream would be. So I
Oh,
think for me is like being able to just like make sure that I continue to work on my community and then keep that, authentic relationship with them. Never BS them and just make sure that they trust me as much as I trust in them and that the companies see that. Like, cause I feel like there you see like big streamers that and then you connect that with like mid streamers or little streamers and these like small streamers pull the same numbers in sales as a big streamer because they connect with their community and their community trusts them a lot more than somebody who has like thousands of viewers who cannot connect with their community, right? Like they could sell the same amount. Doesn't like the numbers don't matter. It's just like how you connect with your community and I feel like brands see that when you do it really really well.
because brands are being like May had kind of mentioned it before. Like we do a lot of different things. Like me and May are not our income isn't dependent on streaming.
Mhm.
We have our fingers and everything basically, and being marketable. And most of all, just like not burning bridges, like with the people and the companies that you work with, do a good job, answer their emails, you know, um, don't be dicks to them because that community, that assistant that you were emailing that one day could be like a manager someday at another company. Like industry
Mhm.
talks, we all know this. Industry talks and how you treat other people and how you work with other people gets around.
Mhm.
So, like, even though me and May might not be the biggest female streamers or the biggest streamers, we've been in the industry long enough that we have good connections, we have a good network, people like working with us, more importantly, at the end of the day, and we're affordable. So,
Yeah,
like, you might
I
think
think
like as
that's
a
the
big
huge part.
company just wants a big streamer, but like she was saying, they might not bring in the revenue and the sales. And mid-tier streamers are what most companies can afford. They're what indie companies can afford. They're what, you know, anyone kind of looking at the scene,
makes
we're
sense.
affordable.
Yeah.
So we'll get a lot of deals, not because we're bigger, but because they can afford us too.
Mhm.
So you don't have, of course, I wouldn't want you guys to go super in depth, but like as you were building your streaming career, like what was the goal for how many revenue streams that you were trying to bring in?
I don't think I ever thought about that. I just streamed,
Yeah, I just
to be
wanted to make
honest.
sure
Yeah.
my bills were paid. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, cool, that's sick. Like, not even make money outside of my bills. I was just like, oh, my bills are paid? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm good.
I've never aspired to be like the biggest streamer or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
just I pay my bills. I can help my family when I can help them and
I'm
stuff
honestly
like that.
nervous of ever becoming like ninja level because I get recognized now and it terrifies me sometimes. And I honestly don't want to get to a point where I go to every event and I can't even enjoy myself because you're nervous about somebody like recognizing you and be like, oh, what if you're having a bad day and somebody goes, oh, she's a freaking bitch. And that's like so easy for like men usually when they're having a bad day, it's hard for them to be like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't ever really see people talking shit about men having a bad day. But when women are having a bad day, we're emotional or we're bitches. So it's like we're not really allowed to have a bad day, at least like as a public figure. Like that's one big reason why too. Like when I don't stream, when I'm just not feeling it, because I get told all the time, smile. You should smile. You should smile more often. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to smile right now. I just want to play video games. I don't want to smile. I want to kill people in Warzone. Shut up. But like you're just like you're not allowed, and I hate that. So I'm good with being mid-tier. Like I'm okay for now, sitting here and talking to my community, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm good with that.
So at any point did your you guys said that you didn't really think about the revenue stream, but like when did or like I guess if it happened, when did like your guys' focus turn into like okay, ownership and more like the business side of things? When did that shift happen? Or even now you're just kind of like it's like middle, like a little bit business, a little bit just like I just really enjoy this and I'm paying my bills.
Go ahead.
Still both for me.
For me, it was like when I had to pay my taxes. I was like, oh crap, I have taxes to pay. They're that much, and then so I finally hired an accountant. I got my LLCS corp, like all of that stuff, because they were like, girl, we need to get on this now, or else it's gonna be way too expensive.
I changed my answer. I agree with Mae. Yeah.
But I'm still not thinking about like, well, now obviously with their help, they're like, for retirement, you want to do this, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's do that. I've just become like a yes woman to them. Like, yeah, whatever you think is good. They are great though. I recommended my accountant, everybody to Ava, and she likes them. So I'm just like, yeah, they're great. But I think it wasn't until like honestly recently, and I think it was mostly because I don't know about you, Ava, but this still feels like a dream. Like I'm still kind of like riding just kind of the high of being able to go live every day and still seeing like even if it's like not the same amount of people you see the week before or the week after, because Facebook is like very, very different with how viewership is. Like it's different than Twitch. I don't even look at my viewer count anymore because it's wild. Like you could have 1,000 people watching or like 200 people watching. It's never consistent. So I don't even look at it. But like to be able to do it every day, like I'm gonna go after this and start streaming again, like and play games with your friends that you don't see every day, and that is your job. Like I'm still riding that high, and I want to ride that forever. The people ask all the time, how old are you? I never really say my age because I think it's really fun looking really young, and like when people say some weird shit like you don't know if I'm 16, everybody screen grab, tell Chris Hansen, FBI, that's the man. Like I just like joke around that all the time. But I will probably do this until I honestly can't play games anymore. Because I still honestly thoroughly enjoy it. And I get to play games with friends, and I get to meet so many cool people. And I get to like connect and intertwine. Like being able to play games, like I said earlier, play loud. Being able to play games and music, like connecting those two big hobbies of mine and making a career out of it. Like, come on. This is a dream. I'm living it, and I'm happy. I'm there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like at the end of the day, like, no matter how big we are, no matter, like, what kind of growth we have, we'll always still be that gaming streamer when we first started. And that's what it is,
Yeah.
That's beautiful. All right, so while we're living in the moment and enjoying our success and really just having fun with streaming, video games, community building, traveling the world, everything that this life is offering us right now, genuinely for both of you, have you sat down and thought about the end game? What does retirement look like? I know you said, and I say at the same time, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this until the day I die. There's gonna be a point in time where we hang up the mouse and keyboard and call it quits. Has that ever been thought about? Has your retirement ever been thought
No.
I know we've been living in the moment and enjoying it, but
I thought about it.
you thought about it. What happened? Walk us through
Worst
it.
case
young.
is I go back into nursing. Worst case is I honestly cannot get anything within the gaming industry. Worst case, go back to nursing. Just get out of it. Best case would be being able to work with a company that I absolutely love and give them the knowledge that I have. I've been in this industry for 10 years. I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll be helpful somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure I'll be able to help someone somewhere, even if it's like a desk job as customer service or something. I'm very
May.
frugal. Very frugal. So I save like a ton of money. So my savings look real freaking good right now. But like, I hope to ride that forever, for as long as I possibly can. I'm still the type of person that, like, while I do travel and all of that, because that's a tax write-off. You know what I mean? Like,
You know,
post a couple of vlogs and make some content around it. It's a tax write-off. But a lot of the clothes that I wear, it's like on sale or things like that, and it's recycled or thrifted or things. Because I grew up poor, like, still this money looks really freaking weird to me, so I don't touch it. It scares the shit out of me.
yes.
So I honestly, like, I remember getting my first big paycheck working for this company, and I like ran to Mike's room and I started crying, and I showed him. I was like, yeah, is that real? Is that really in my bank account? He's like, yeah, that's real. I was like, please don't let me change. I don't want my personality to change. And he was like, you're not gonna change, you're fine. I was so nervous, like, being that like stuffy, like stuck up, I am so rich kind of person. Like, I don't, because I wouldn't be able to recognize myself if that was the case, right? And I know money changes people. And I was like, please don't ever let me just change. But I think hopefully, now that I'm smarter, because the question that you asked earlier, now that I'm smarter with my money, I'll be able to ride whatever I make as far as I can with this and live comfortably, even though I'm just working a desk job as customer service for part-time somewhere. If I could still be within the industry and have some sort of job out, like if I'm 60, like that's sick. Come on now. I'm going, like I say, I'm going into like, I don't know, like whatever new company that's like this big streaming thing. If it's Twitch, whatever, go in there as customer service to be like, back in my day, we used to just press go live and everything just works. And like be that person that, you know, that people talk to about it. I think it would be a lot of fun. But I don't think, like, I don't know if I've actually like spent time thinking if it's gonna be anywhere else outside of the gaming industry. I'd love to stay here. I've just made way too many friends, and I feel like I've done quite a bit, even though I have a long way to go. But I think there's still things that I've yet to explore within this industry. So,
Yeah.
I gotta ask this. Before we jump into Ava, I wanna see what's on Ava's mind. Yo, May. All right, you're very humble, but let's be real. Let's talk our shit for a second. I feel
Okay.
like you and Ava definitely have names that are big enough to where when you are done, those names are big enough to go to an organization or to another company to continue working in gaming, right? So
That's
with
what I'm
that being
hoping.
said, all right, I'm gonna be the cocky one. Your name is big enough to do that, okay? So with that being said, I'm gonna kind of put you on the spot. Let's say if hypothetically in your world that's a possibility and you could go to an organization or a company, what would you like to do? Well, what would it be? What field would you go into?
If
Creative,
I if I had a
producing? Would you
choice,
wanna work with a gaming org? What is it?
I'm a creative. I would love to learn how to like create and edit and do all of that. Like really dive into that. I try to do my own, but I honestly just don't have the time or the patience or the resources to do it. But if I were to go into that, I would love to be an editor. I think it would be a lot of fun.
It's different from other people than when you do it for yourself.
Yeah,
You're lazy
exactly.
with it
I
for
don't want to
yourself.
hear myself all the time. Like I get tired of my own voice, and I'd be like, and I'm so critical. Everyone's so hypercritical of themselves. So when you're like creating your own content, I'm like, I'm over this. I don't want to touch this at all. Like, why did you say that, you stupid bitch? Like I'd be like yelling at myself through the camera, like you ruined the dummy. Like I just start yelling, like I would respond back, you know. But if you were to like to do that for somebody else, I feel like it's a little bit more rewarding. Like when they come back and they're like, yeah. Because there'd be like times where I'd work on my stuff and I'm like, high five, you killed it. And I'm super excited about it. And you post it and like only one person's like, yes. Like, son of a bitch. I did all this.
I like all your stuff.
I know. We like each other's stuff. And I think that's why we're besties for the Rusties. I love you.
That's cute. So
Get that
Ava,
engagement. Get that engagement.
yes. Oh, we're gonna talk about that. Ava, What about you? You're not getting out of this free, okay? Well,
Okay.
your end game, your retirement, okay? What's
My
next?
end game is the zombie apocalypse happens, and I'm
Okay.
living up north in the snow where they can't get me in a bunker
Canadian
with
zombies. That
plants.
sounds kinda, yeah.
No, but for real, I've never really worried about it too much. I know I have my degree, I have something to fall back onto. Worst case scenario, I, like May, have always just imagined transitioning somewhere into the gaming sphere, whether it be at Twitch or with a team org. I feel like I know enough people, like I could be like a partner manager, or I feel like I'd be a really good social media person.
You're gonna have to hold back a little bit on some of the things that you say. Are you sure you're gonna be ready for that? You can't.
I want to be the
man.
social media person that gets fired, and they're like, "Oh, they're so fired." Me. That's gonna be
And
me.
she comes out from the ashes like a phoenix and just be like, "It was me all along." She starts just.
I can see it. So, social media manager is
yeah.
keeping it cool, having fun, being in gaming.
Yeah, and then I'm like also didn't grow up rich or anything like that. Once we got into high school, like my mom remarried. We had help from the stepdad's family, but before that, like I've grown up on SpaghettiOs and craft dinner. So I like having money for the first time in my life. I spend it, man. Like I'm the opposite of May. Like right now, I've been everywhere. Like I've been traveling all over. I buy myself nice things, and I'm planning to save now that I've talked to the accountant and we're putting money into like the retirement fund and stuff like that. But for like the past 3 years, I've just been doing whatever the fuck I want, really. Like if I want to go to Europe, like I would go to Europe. I solo traveled to Japan. Like I feel like, what is the point in making all this money if I'm not going to spend it and not going to enjoy it? Yeah.
How much do you love that shit? Because I'm gonna be real, Ava. Before I did this, I was at a point to where I could save up like $400 a month, and I'd be like, "Yo, that's my fun money. If I spend this money, I'm done." And that's $200 per both of those checks, or I am assed out. Right? I buy a Nintendo Switch, I'm starving the next month. And now, like, we could legitimately wake up and do shit like that. So it's like, when it comes to how much like how did you balance that at first? Because we heard May when she got her first check, and realizations like that, like my sister makes money, but it's like that's monthly paychecks. We get fat chunks. How has that been towards you to transition into this lifestyle? It's different.
It's different. I've definitely struggled with it because I didn't really know how to save money or how to pay taxes. So it's been a learning process. I don't know. It's hard to answer that question.
Yeah, May was talking about being frugal, and I was like, yeah, last time I saw
I'm
Ava,
not really frugal. I'm not a frugal person.
I mean, talking about driving your LA plants to Austin.
Right.
Yeah. I had to tell you not.
But like I'm living in Texas too versus like LA. Our bills are probably a little bit different. Right. And you have 2 people. I just have me.
Fair.
So
it's easy to spend money on yourself and you ain't got no one else to worry about.
True.
And I really don't I don't do much. Like I don't spend money on clothes or like cars really or shoes. Or I don't I bought myself like 2 designer things now, but like I don't buy designer or anything like that. So it's like the only thing that I really spend money on is food, travel.
Okay.
And plants.
Let's not forget
the trifecta.
I spent quite a bit of money on that, so I have to add that one in there. It's not, but so
yeah. And to add more to like life later, it's different for everyone, but has ever like the thought or a conversation come up about like settling a family, motherhood? Has that been anything that you guys have had to deal with in some shape or form?
Look at both of their faces. Look at Ava's face.
Like,
and look at May's face. It was totally opposite.
Well, no, the thing is,
we both know each other's answers to
this. She doesn't want kids. I don't want kids. I feel like our actual like whole friend group, we all don't want to have kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Our world sucks, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring kids into I'm kidding.
I just like my upbringing. Like I have, 3 other siblings, my parents, and everything. I had a very traumatic childhood, and while I can definitely support any kids I have, I could emotionally, financially, all of that support them through their life. I don't ever want to fall and make them feel anything I felt when I was a kid. So I don't want to fail in that aspect. So that's like one of the bigger reasons. Also, to be honest with y'all, I'm fucking selfish. All of this money is so new to me. I'm gonna spend it on me. I'm gonna spend it on trips, on everything. My cats are my babies. My sister already has a kid, so that grandbaby thing, it's done. It's done for. They don't need to look for it with me. Okay, they already have their grandkid. They're happy. But I won't be. I don't think that I personally am ready or will ever be ready to have a kid, even though I know I could have a kid if I really honestly wanted to. It's just there's so many things that happened in my not previous, but I guess previous because very different now. But in my life that exactly that I don't ever want to make my kids even feel the smallest bit of what I felt as a child. And I just feel like a failure. I feel like I there's not, even though you have to be like very like forgiving of yourself and things happen and stuff like that. I just rather not even get to that point of, I guess, contention. I don't know. I don't want it. I'm good.
Right.
Ava, what about you?
I have 7 siblings, so I've already, and they're all significantly younger than me. I've already changed diapers. I've nannied through college. Like I've done the kid thing, even though I'm not a parent myself. And I don't feel the need to have children. I want to be selfish. I like doing my own things. I like my life the way it is. I don't feel the need to change it. And I honestly, like, I'm a firm believer in like climate change and stuff like that. And I don't think it's going well for us. And I personally, I'm just like, I don't see the point in bringing a kid into this world if it's just going to be like so hard for them later on. I just don't think it's fair, to be honest. But that's just how I feel. I, of course, I will love, and like all my best friends have babies. Like I have so many nieces and nephews and I adore all of them. So I feel like I will just live vicariously through everyone else, and I'll just be like the aunt that buys them all the things that the parents don't give them, you know?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love going to see them, and then I get to go home.
That's actually pretty cool. Well, okay, we've been doing this thing for about 2 hours now. This has been fun as hell. May, exactly. May, when we did this last time, we actually caught ourselves talking to Yinsu, and we looked at the time, and we're like, holy shit. Like, this can continue on to like 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, it was cool, but I'm going to be honest, getting to know you two better was phenomenal. Erin, anything you want to say just to the viewers or even just the 2 amazing women that we have in here?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome to talk with you guys. I mean, you two are probably some of the most transparent individuals in gaming and streaming for sure. And I love the fact that like no matter what, you both are yourselves. That's also why we wanted to bring you guys on, is that we wanted the realness, and you guys always give the realness, whether trolling, whether educating, whether just talking about toilet papers and stuff. People not having toilet papers. Man, I think Diesel ran out of toilet paper or something recently.
Oh yeah.
We love it, and we're so thankful and appreciate that you guys came on and wanted to be transparent and honest. I know we were asking some pretty prying questions, but we appreciate you guys being
honestly they weren't too bad. It's definitely, like, me and May are very, like, anything you've asked us, I've definitely talked about with my audience. So
Yeah.
Yes, I like it. And actually, Ava helped us out with our first episode because Ava, is it okay we spoke about what you told me?
I don't remember
what type of gaming people you would like talk to and what you would avoid.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Like that was interesting. Like I was talking to Ava, and for science, I was like what type of guys in gaming like would you talk to? And we spoke about the difference between talking to pro players and whatnot, and maybe like hosts or whatever. And then we brought that into the first episode. which was
Oh, cool. That's funny.
Yeah, so
I
thank
was
you
saying
for that.
which type of guys I wouldn't date. I was like, I wouldn't date pro
Ah.
players. I wouldn't date streamers, but maybe I would like a host would be okay. Like someone who
Like hosts
hosts,
would be okay.
hosts or like casters or team,
Mhm.
Because like when
team
you have
org
very-
owners would be even better.
I own a tier 2 organization. No, but honestly, it's been a blast. May, listen, I adore you. Listen, tell your boo thing. I said I miss him, and hopefully we go throwing axes again sometime soon.
Yes.
But yes, that was fun, right?
That
Wait,
was
were you
sick.
were you on my team when we won, or were you playing in that game?
We were. We
You were?
lost. Yeah.
Oh, you were
I
on the
was in the
other
team that lost. Yeah.
I
Yep.
was the shit, right?
Well, thanks for
Loser.
reminding me. God.
Exactly. Ava, I whooped their ass. Trust me. It was like that. No, honestly, ladies, it's been fun. Yeah, this was episode 2 of Life is Not a Game. For those of you that are tuning in and watching this, once again, we want to thank you so much. I know that yeah, these discussions, even though it comes off as 2 hours, it feels like 30 minutes to be completely honest. But I'm Velly. This is Erin. Thank you once again for watching, and don't forget, check into the next episode. It's amazing. We actually have 2 amazing guests, and it's going to be very controversial about the esports side of things. We're talking about what's happening behind the scenes in the industry, right? Oh, May, it's juicy. It's thick, okay? 5 C's. But we'll catch you guys next time, and you take it easy. I love you guys.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.
Adios.